Hello, two people are back. Thank you for coming back. I found my solder. I just had to get up and move, and I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. I got up and walked around the room. So I'm starting by soldering in the smallest components first. Hello from Pennsylvania. Thank you, Jeff. I'm glad I found it too. Well, Dominic, um, hello from Holland. Hello from Brazil. Do you have any experience soldering, Dominic? Hello, Mark. Hello, Jack. Hello, Emmanuel. Okay. Um, in that case, Dominic, I would tell you to start with that. I think it's called the DSO 180. It is a an oscilloscope kit. You can get them from like 18 bucks, 24 bucks, somewhere along the lines. Hello, T Price. Hello, Emmanuel. Um, it's a good evening of soldering, and when you're done, you will end up with an okay beginner's level oscilloscope. Great soldering. They have a few SMD components, but they are already soldered on the board, so it's generally not a problem. Yeah, I don't use lead-free solder. Sorry. I don't like the way it flows. Yeah, that one got a little high. Kind of like me in my 20s. If Dominic, if I can find a link to it on Amazon, I will put it in my Amazon store. You don't have to buy it from there, but it'll give you an idea of where to go. Somebody asked me what we were soldering. This is a guitar pedal kit called a chorus. It's the Lich King chorus based on the zombie chorus. It's basically a delay kind of thing. It's designed by one of our viewers, Eric Vincent. Hope that's better. Okay, now we need some 47K resistors. Luckily, we got plenty of them, I'm sure. Safety last. They're okay. They're nowhere near as good to an old Tektronix. There we go. 47K. Whoopsies. So, I shall consult the sheet, and we'll put in some more resistors, and anything you guys want to talk about, any questions you have while I'm soldering, just let me know. Okay, R6, 7, 8, and 9. 6, 7, 8, and 9. Safety last, I've got a Tektronix 465 that weighs about 100 pounds. Listen, I used to be able to read the color codes on the resistors. Now I just mark the bags. T Price, yes, I have. It's in my channel. I did an R2R resistor ladder, A to D converter. Well, actually, that's a DA converter. No, I haven't done an AD. There's 6. Where did I learn electronics? In the Navy. Yes. In the Navy, basic electricity and electronics school. I was trained as a sonar technician. Then college in San Diego, and then college in Pittsburgh. 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I got to find 8 and 9. Look at that. They're right there. Thanks all you guys for joining on this lovely quarantine Saturday morning. We've been pretty lucky here where I live, which is a relatively small county. We're right on the border with West Virginia. Hey, Peter Davidson, that's what I'm using right now, the KSGR. It is a wonderful little soldering station. Well, Larry, I was on a submarine. The USS Pennsylvania, SSBN 735. Any suggestions for an RF signal generator up to 30 megahertz to check receivers? Yeah, you know what? They've got really cheap ones on like Banggood and AliExpress. You can find them for like 50, 60 bucks. Hello, Dark. Hello, Tony. They've even got a... hang on, Tony, I'll tell you. They've even got a VHF frequency spectrum analyzer for like 100 bucks. Hello, David in Sydney. I am building a chorus pedal. It's a guitar pedal. It's basically a delay. Well, it's multiple delays. And what it does is it just makes your sound thicker. This is called the Lich King Chorus. And it was designed by one of my viewers, Eric Vincent, from DIYguitarpedals.com.au in Australia. Although I think Eric's in the United States. I'm not sure. But these days, does it really matter where anybody's from? Hello, Anthony. Very nice to meet you. Anthony, I'm an Italian boy. I have like 11 cousins all named Anthony. Okay. So we're putting on the smallest components first. In that case, just some resistors. Zoom out here. Zoom out. There we go. So we get her to focus. Can you teach me electronics? Well, I could have 5 years ago. The only teaching I do now is on this channel. Okay. So, we did 7, 8, and 9. 10, let's do 12 and 13 at 4.7K next. So I think I've watched pretty much all of YouTube. I haven't gotten the message that says I've got to the end of it yet. Once you guys got any suggestions for good channels for me to watch in the quarantine times here. Like I watch Julian Eilert. I'm a huge fan of Big Clive. So anything along those lines. 4.7, is that what I wanted? Yes, indeed. So 4.7 goes to R12 and R13. Anyway, while we're talking, I'm at almost 80,000 subscribers. And it looks like I might hit 100,000 this year. What would you guys like to see for Big 100,000 show. What can we do to make things interesting? Anthony, thank you. Like I said earlier, I don't do live stream very often. Even though my videos aren't polished, I like to at least try and prevent something good. Oh yeah, Diode Gone Wild. I've watched him. Big Clive, I'm a huge fan of. EEV Blog. Yeah. Kangaroo Dave. Thunder Cunt 187. Yes, absolutely. Old flukes are great. R12, I'm gonna look over R13. Where the heck is R13? Ham stuff. Yeah, I do some ham stuff. There's 18, 19. Oh, there it is. R13. Very good. Oh, OH88 8BLW. High voltage is coming. Oh, yeah, John Electronics. I love Louis Rossman, man. He goes off. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Back in the early days, I was a huge fan of Apple. But they just really... R16 and R17. R16 and R17. Yeah, anyway, the high voltage stuff, the amplifier I'm building's going to be about 400 volts. That's pretty high. Okay, where's R17? Chris Long. Never heard of Chris Long. I'll have to check that out. Thank you, Microfix. R17, there we go. Gadget Reboot. Oh, yeah, Mr. Carlson. Simple Electronics, never seen that one. Pile of stuff I watch. And Electro Boom. Love Electro Boom. I especially like Electro Boom's debunking stuff. Yep, Diode Gone Wild just for his accent. That's one of the things I love about Big Clive. He has like the most relaxing voice ever. Oh, is that where Rossman's at? Is he a New Yorker? Makes sense, right? Okay. Marco Reps. Yeah, I like Marco Reps. I think I've seen most of his stuff, though. That's the problem. I've watched so many videos. I don't really watch real TV. I mostly just watch YouTube and old shows I like on Hulu. SDG, yes, I like SDG. If you guys are into old tube amplifiers and stuff, Uncle Doug and D-Lab are great. Unexpected Maker. I think I've watched Unexpected Maker, but I'm not quite sure. I'll have to check him out. I don't know how Lewis solders that tiny stuff. I don't have the eyes or the hands for it anymore. Yeah, TRX Bench. I have watched him. Grace Court. I've checked that out. I have watched him, but he tends to ramble on a bit for me. 5 Watt World. Absolutely. Keith, I believe is his name. I'm a big fan of like guitar history and stuff. Oh yeah, Def Palm is great. I don't think he's out of the UK though. I think he's in New Zealand. I could be wrong. I often am wrong. Voltlog? Yep, I watch Voltlog. Yep, love Def Palm. Scott's a great guy. We have communicated a few times. The guy at the flooded lab was Dave. Oh, no. You're right. He got flooded too. Leland Sklar. I've seen his stuff, but I've never watched him. No worries. We're just a bunch of dudes sitting around on a Saturday morning with nothing better to do. ElectronZap.com. I will check him out, Peter Davidson. Thank you. Ben Eater. I've watched Ben Eater. He doesn't do too many videos. DroneBot Workshop. Yep, I am supposed to actually be doing a collaboration with him this year. We just got to get together at some point. Oh, looks like I missed one. And now I don't remember where. Guess not. No, is it that one? Nope. Oh, it's this one right here. Okay. Soldering and talking is a little bit difficult sometimes. Yep. 73s. Ow. That got a little warm. Okay. Looks like it's getting out of focus again. Thank you, Chris. Come on, zoom in. There we go. So, why don't I take a break from soldering here for a minute, and we'll take a look at some of the other parts that are in the kit. Oh yeah, Alan does great stuff. I watch all of his videos. So here's the enclosure. And then on the back of this circuit board are going to go two big pots. Tom, there's going to be another FET video on Monday and two switches. And then we'll have to drill some holes in the case. This is our on-off bypass switch. And then we have an output that goes to your amp or to the next pedal, and the input. And you can see, if we take a look up here real close, it uses a CD4046BE, an MN3007, and a couple of op amps. So the bucket brigade delay, basically you have your input signal coming in, and then it gets delayed, and that delay feeds back into another delay, which feeds back into another delay. And these delays are you know, nano to microseconds long. So they're super quick. And what ends up happening is it just gives you a nice, thicker sound. And fun to play with. And it's nice to be able to do something low cost like this. I think you can get this board from a DIY guitar pedals for like $7. And you know, you got a couple bucks worth of resistors, couple bucks worth of capacitors in there, and you're pretty much all done. You know, no big deal. as opposed to buying one where you'd end up spending, anywhere from $50 to $400 on a single pedal, which is just crazy. Victor, yes, it is. It is a guitar pedal, a chorus. I'm going to put it on my pedal board with my distortion and a reverb. EE for everyone. I have never heard of that channel. Thank you, Dave. I will check that out. Good morning, Doc. Good to see you. Hope things are well. Old and obscure gaming consoles. Top Hat Gaming. I'll have to check that out, Dirk. Thank you. Yes, I am into old. I don't know so much about obscure, but my first gaming console was an Atari 2600, so I know there's a couple older than that. There was the Mattel and Television, and maybe the Odyssey. Great Scott is good. Yeah, I like Great Scott. Although he tends to gloss over some stuff. If you know a little bit about electronics, you can follow him fine. But if you're just kind of beginning, it might be a little bit difficult to follow some of his stuff. All right, let's get back to soldering. Let's just put in a couple of these IC frames. Victor, it is kind of an analog delay pedal, yes. Thank you, Victor. There's going to be another oscilloscope review coming up, maybe the one day this week. I'm not quite sure yet. Since you guys are here, I'm going to give you a free preview. It is the Innovation Multimeter and Oscilloscope. There's some specs on it. I just got this in yesterday from Banggood. Give me 1 second. I got to grab the frames. If you like to do a lot of electronic projects and soldering cut type stuff, I really recommend you use these IC frames. I mean, it doesn't have to be this brand, but use IC frames. And the reason for that is if you ever have to change anything, or you've made a mistake, then it will make it that's too big. It'll make it much easier. That's too small. Like Goldilocks here. It makes it much easier because you don't end up having to come on. You don't have to desolder the chips. You can just pull them out of the sockets and you're good to go. What's going on here? Hey, Doc, did you get your package? A little bit of tape to hold that in, and we'll get her soldered in. Remember, always clean your tip. And in my experience and what I was taught, they'll be embarrassed. In my experience and what I was taught, it's better to go hotter for a shorter amount of time than to run a cooler iron for a longer period of time. Especially when you're dealing with integrated circuits, it's the time that the heat is applied to the circuit that does damage. So you would be much better off applying more heat for a shorter amount of time than a longer amount of time with a lower heat. To me, it makes sense. It might seem kind of counterintuitive. Yes, John Smith. Yes, I am. Yes, I can zoom in. I never know how much to zoom in or zoom out. I am definitely not an expert in video production. Yes, Gorf, it is somewhat of a live stream. As alive as I get. And as I said previously, I don't do these very often. Hello, Bruce. Yeah, if I can use a socket, I will use a socket. To me, it's a no-brainer. Because chances are you're going to have to pull a chip out here and there, and you'll always be much better off just pulling it out rather than desoldering it. I mean, boards can only take so many cycles of heat before you start lifting pads and everything else like that. Let me try and change the angle here. Thank you, Make Me Lab. I did not make this board. This board was designed by Eric Vincent of DIYguitarpedals.com.au. It is a chorus pedal. It's a type of audio effect used with guitars. It's basically an analog delay. It's actually multiple delays strung together that just makes the sound a little bit thicker. Yeah, I hear you, Doc. I learned, it seems to me the hard way is about the only way I learn. Greetings from the Berg. Where you at in the Berg, man? If we weren't on lockdown, I'd probably be in the Berg today. Now that I got the kid playing guitar, he loves to go up to Guitar Center. Am I starting a new boy band? Yeah, me and my boy. I have played in a number of bands when I was younger. Hello, Michael. I don't think I could stay up that late anymore. In fact, the kid and I were talking yesterday. We ran up to a local music store that's not exactly open, but when you know who owns it and you have a relationship, they'll let you in. Because he got a new guitar and he needed a strap. So we went up there and we were coming back. We were talking about band names. I told him the name of one of the bands that I had played in was Court Street, Court. And he thought I said Pork Street, like Pork. I thought, you know what? That would be a great band name. Yeah, I mean, none of these bands I played in were ever anything but tiny little bar bands. But Court Street was one of them. The Silver Eagle Band was one. Playing at church or something? Nope, not anymore, Victor. Now I just play at home. Greetings from Argentina. Oh, the Corona Discharge, yes. Corona Discharge, that's pretty good. I always wanted to play in a band called Uncle Wiggly. I just thought that was such a weird and cool name, but none of my band members would ever go for it. Hello, Glenn. Thank you very much. Hello, Justo. I'm not quite sure how to say your name. Sorry if I mangled it. Again, thanks all you guys for joining me here today. Just some Saturday morning soldering and shooting, you know what. See, the older I get, the more shaky my hands get. All right, I think, come on. Zoom in, there you go. Hello, Mr. Hodler. Hello, Peter Davidson. Okay, so we're looking good. Glenn, I grew up just outside of the Steel City myself. Sadly, in the Buckeye State, but about a 30-minute drive from the Golden Triangle. And I worked most of my adult life in Pittsburgh. Yeah, Gorf, I'm old school too. Did you for the last pin? Did I what for the last pin? Solder it? I think so. Don't worry, I'll be going back and checking all this stuff. There's a little variable resistor for basically setting the bias current on these. Is that right there? Okay. Had to make sure I can see where I'm soldering and make sure you guys can see. Amin, thank you very much. Glad to have you guys with me here this morning in our little soldering fun. Yeah, Russell, I'm the same way. I can force myself to do a little bit of surface mount, but I am a through-hole guy, old school, through and through. It's what I learned with. It's what I'm comfortable with. If I need surface mount stuff, I'll just order it. The true voice of reason. So you're from the Pennsylvania area, are you? Or for the Philadelphia area, huh? Yeah, it's starting to look good here. So right down here is where our switch. Let me zoom out here. Here's our switch connection, and let's see if I can get these up here so you guys can see. Phoenixville, okay. I'm not sure where that's at, but so there you can see our connections on the switch. Ground, in, out, pedal. Come on, now zoom out. So those wires here, all these ins and outs, they connect to the board here. We see we have in, we have 9-volt, we have ground, and we have out. Good morning from the Toledo area. Yep, you're about 5 hours northwest of me. I used to go to Toledo once a year for a convention. Nice place. Dave Odessa, thank you for dropping by. Stop by anytime. All right, let's put in some capacitors. And for most of these, I believe we're going to be using some film capacitors. So let's see what C1, 1 nanofarad, and C10, they are both 1 nanofarad. So I have a selection of film capacitors here. 1 nanofarad are these guys, right? 3 from the end. Okay, so we need 2 of these. 1 and 2. For anybody who's just joining, what we're building here is a guitar pedal called a chorus. This is the Lich King chorus, designed by Eric Vincent of DIYguitarpedals.com.au. This kit runs like $7. You know, there's some soldering, but it's no big deal. And you have yourself a nice little pedal that you did yourself. Let me come out of the holder here. I'm sorry, this is going to get a little bumpy for a second. But I'll show you guys some of the gear I'm using. Now there is the soldering station. It is the KSGR T12. It is a really nice soldering station. I like it a lot. Oops. Hang on, got to get you back in your holder. And then this helping hands thing I built myself. T-Bone, good morning from San Diego. Well, good morning to you. And also good morning, Grover. T-Bone, where are you at in San Diego? I used to live in Pacific Beach, near the corner of PB and Grand. Elias, I have a Heiko too, but you know what? I find myself using this one just because it is so compact that it just makes it really nice. La Mesa, right on. I miss San Diego. It is. I've lived in a few places in my life, mostly here in the Pittsburgh area, but San Diego was my absolute favorite place to live. Unfortunately, after I got out of the Navy, it just wasn't economically feasible to live there anymore. Like I said, I was living in Pacific Beach, which is a really nice section of San Diego on the beach. And back then, we're talking the very early 90s, I was paying like $2,000 a month for a studio apartment. You know, we're talking 1 room and a bathroom. I can't even imagine what that would cost now. Hello, Bruce Scott. Nice to see you here today. Oh, Gorf, thank you very much. I very much enjoyed my time in the Navy. Hello, Thorsten. From Sweden. Nice to see you. All right, what do we got next coming up? Ah, Shady Side. Okay. Going to Newcastle. Excellent. All right, let's do C5. C5 is a 1 microfarad. So for that, we'll be using electrolytic capacitors. And let me zoom in here so you guys can see this. The electrolytic capacitors are polarized. You can see the tiny little plus mark there. These green film capacitors I just soldered in are unpolarized. You can put them in either way. You put a film capacitor in the wrong way, though, and no es bueno. So did I grab the right one? Yes. 1 microfarad. Get you in there. And we'll solder it in. Hold on, somebody said something about cleaning. Yeah, I should clean it more. I do what I can. Electronics projects for musicians. I'll have to check that out. Thank you. I try and keep it as clean as I can, though. All right. Zoom out. Come on. All right, let's cut the leads off this guy. And I think we're going to have to end it here. I hear the boy stirring. He must be waking up, so it's time for me to go cook him breakfast. Well, thank you guys for joining me this morning, and you know what? We'll do this again. Maybe tomorrow morning. I'm not sure. Just check. Anyway, thank you guys all. Peace.